Hi everybody, welcome back to Florida Prepping. Today's topic is going to be storm season. We'll talk a little bit about the storms that South Florida has and preparations for hurricanes. Some of the things that you need to know, some very basic things that you should have on hand while the storms are passing, power's out for a couple of hours to maybe a couple of days. These will be some of the things that you'll need. But first and foremost, don't forget to hit the like button because that helps the YouTube algorithms push us forward and at the top and front of the Florida prepping stuff. So first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need water. Yes, you can get water out of the tap during storms and stuff like that, but if the power goes down and the pumps go off, or more importantly, the cleaning of the water that's going through your taps goes down, then you're going to end up with contaminated water and you don't want to drink that. So the typical survival scenario states that you want at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Personally, I like 1.5 gallons. This way you can have access at the end of whatever scenario that you're going through. So the second thing is flashlights. We have a couple of flashlights and they are very, very inexpensive, but as you notice, they have a solar panel on. So we take these flashlights and we set them in the window sills on the east and west and south of the house. And during the course of the day, these things just charge up, and then when the power really does go out, you have a very simple and inexpensive flashlight that you don't have to worry about charging batteries with. So that being said, flashlights are always great to have, especially if you have children. The kids can play around in the dark and not be scared. Second thing is lanterns for the larger rooms like living rooms, or if everybody's gathering in the dining room or something like that, you want a fairly large light that's going to light everything up and people aren't tripping over each other. I love these things. They are from Harbor Freight, and I think they were maybe $20. And when we first got them, we really didn't believe in them. We didn't think that they were going to last very long, so we did a little test, and we went on a vacation, and I turned these on low, and we were gone for 16 days. And when we came back, this thing was still on as bright as the day we left it. I was so impressed that we ended up giving these to our family members as a Christmas gift one year. Everybody got one. The next thing that you're going to need to know is propane for cooking. So if you have an electric stove or a microwave that most everybody cooks with a microwave nowadays in some way, shape, or form. If you have a microwave, the power's out, guess what? You're not microwaving anything. So you want a grill. Something very simple is fine. Pretty much every household in America has some kind of grill, some way, shape, or form. So for that grill, you're going to want a propane tank. And of course, as always, as the rule of thumb goes for prepping, if you have one, you have none. 2 is 1. So you want 2 tanks of propane. Where you storm, preferably in a garage, make sure that they're not leaking or anything like that. Be safe with it. That goes without saying. Gas cans. If you have a gas generator, you're going to want extra gas cans. The reason that you want extra gas cans is so that you're not making so many trips to the gas station. It can get very brutal. Not to scare anyone, but there have been times in South Florida where gas stations can be dangerous after day 3 or 4 of trying to get gas. So extra gas cans is always good. You get the gas ahead of time, and then if the storm blows over and you don't need to use your generator, then you simply put the gas in your car and no harm, no foul. The next thing, is generators. A lot of people have basic generators that you can wheel in and out of your garage. Nowadays, with all of the electronics that everybody has, a lot of people charge off of the generators, and they kind of short their equipment, or it gets zapped because it has what's called dirty power. Most generators just produce electricity and you get what you get. But now they're getting more advanced, and you can go to Walmart and get a generator with a inverter, and the inverter gives you clean power for your electronics and makes it so that you can charge your electronics and not harm them. Next thing is first aid kit. What do I do? Let me see that first aid kit, baby. So we have 3 of these. Each one of these kits has a different purpose. This one is specifically for major stuff like deep lacerations. There's a suture kit in here, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of things in here. It's not just about band-aids and everything. Depending on what kind of household you have, if you have a bunch of kids or a couple of kids or not, you want to make sure that your first aid kit is balanced towards your family and your style of living. If you have a bunch of boys, obviously the boys are going to be roughhousing, they're going to have fun and stuff like that, so you're going to want more than just band-aids in there. The next thing would be easy to cook food. With the gas grill, if the power goes out, we're going to assume that the generator is on and you're keeping your refrigerators plugged in. You're going to want to start eating the food out of the refrigerator so that if you do end up running out of gas, you don't spoil the food. So with that goes easy cook food. So it can be anywhere from, let me see, rice to steaks to whatever you have, to more food geared towards survival food. There's all kinds of different companies out there now that have survival food. Personally, I like Mountain House. They're a little more expensive than most, but they are also as advertised. They are very good. They cook very easy. They cook exactly the way the instructions tell you that they're going to, and they are high in calories so that you don't have to worry about calorie deficits and constantly being exhausted. The next thing is tarps. So in Florida, tarps are very important because during the hurricane season and during the heavy storms, there's 9 out of 10 times there's roof damage. And if your roof is damaged during a hurricane, you want to be able to cover it in some way, shape, or form until the insurance company can get out there, look at it, or you can get out there yourself and do something to mitigate the damage on the roof. So tarps are very important. There's also plastic bags that you can purchase that are fairly large, and you can then in turn cut those plastic bags in half. Basically, if you imagine the plastic bag as a square, you cut down 3 sides and then it just folds open, and now you have a larger area. Paper plates and plasticware. During a hurricane, you don't want to have to continually wash the dishes by hand, especially if the electricity's out. Again, most of America has a dishwasher, so if the power's out, you're going to be doing stuff by hand. That's just another task that's going to be a pain in the butt when the grid is down. So paper and plastic is the best way to go because you simply use it, discard it, and you're done. You don't have to worry about wasting water trying to wash your dishes and stuff like that. Washing clothes and dishes in advance. If you know that there is a heavy storm coming or a hurricane coming, you want to make sure that all of your clothes, and I do mean all of your clothes, are clean. Everything is cleaned, washed, dried, put away. Because when the storm comes, if it's a hurricane and the grid goes down and you're out of power for multiple days or sometimes multiple weeks, you don't want the burden of fighting for clean clothes. you're already ahead of the game by having all of your clothes cleaned and put away. That's one less bother that you have to worry about, and the less you have to worry about, the better it is for everybody. Another thing is to make sure that your vehicles are all gassed up. Between the gas cans that we have 10 5-gallon gas cans. Of course, we don't fill all 10 up anymore because now we have a solar generator. It's 18 kilowatts, so we don't have to worry about that. But regardless, so we have 10 5-gallon gas cans. So there's 50 gallons. My wife's vehicle is 25 gallons, and my truck is 25 gallons. So between everything, we have 100 gallons of gas in a worst case scenario. So that will last quite a while, prevent us from going to the gas station repeatedly and putting ourselves in danger with all of the ruckus that goes on at the gas stations after a couple of days. Protect your vehicles. If possible, put your vehicles into the garage. If not, then the best place to put them in a incoming storm, let's say a hurricane, the best place to put them is on the west side of your home. And then when the eye of the hurricane comes, you move them to the east side of your home. I know that's going to sound silly. Everybody's going to say, no, you shouldn't be outside during a hurricane, and they are correct. But if you don't have the option of a garage, then this is what we've found is the best. We've gone through a couple of hurricanes here in South Florida, and my vehicles have never been damaged by doing this. Maybe it's luck, I don't know, but so far so good. We're 100% on not getting the vehicles damaged. Again, if the power is going to be out for long periods of time, or even in South Florida, even a couple of hours is arduous without air conditioning. I suggest getting either a window unit or two, or what's called, I call it an R2D2 unit. It's the units that stand alone, and you take the vent tube and you put it out the window, and the air conditioner just stands there and it blows cold air all over the room. Make sure that you get one that is sized for the room that you're putting it in. Don't expect one of those little units to cool down the entire house. That's not what they're for. They're for a single room. So keep that in mind. I've seen it before where people say, oh, we're fine, we have a window unit, or we have 2 window units, we'll be fine. And by the end of the night, they're complaining because their house is so hot and the window units can't keep up. They're not meant to cool an entire house. They're meant to cool a room. So make sure that you buy the right size for the room that you have. And with that, I think we've covered everything on the basics. If I have missed something, please feel free to send me a little note and type in what I've missed, and we'll make sure to cover it in the next hurricane video. So until then, don't forget to hit the like button and feel free to let me know how I'm doing. Take care. Bye-bye.